Good morning, NBA fans. That's right. The season is back. The 2022-2023 season starts tonight. We've only got 2 games slate, but what I wanted to do is quickly go over a tutorial of the sheet. I've changed some things up, made it a little more simplified in terms of doing your research each and every day. I want to show you the new members, maybe as a refresher of what is all on the sheet and how I use it for my research every day, and then go over a few picks for tonight and give you guys a core lineup for tonight. So let's dig in. If you're not a member of our Patreon, make sure to head over to www.patreon.com/JagerBombs. And for $10 a month American, $13.50 Canadian, you get access to a single sport. Or for $20 a month, you get access to all of our sports. And what you're going to get here with the NBA package, if you come over here, you can see all the packages. We've got UFC, PGA, NBA, MLB, tennis, NASCAR, soccer, NFL, college sports, NHL, and then there's our all sports package. So with NBA, what you're going to get is team and matchup info, odds, player stats, updated player injury tags throughout the day, projected and starting lineups. I'm going to show you that here in a second. Core plays for cash games and GPP rankings. It's also going to get you access into our Discord channel where we have multiple coaches talking NBA throughout the day, talking about lineup construction, talking about bankroll management, cash versus GPP, and so much more. So get over to patreon.com/JagerBombs and join our winning team today. All right, let's have a look at the cheat sheet here. So the first tab you're going to see each and every day when you load the sheet is going to be the team matchups tab. This is where I made the biggest change this year. Had a whole bunch of offense and defensive efficiency numbers, a whole bunch of different stuff that was kind of a little bit confusing to people just kind of maybe getting into NBA. Had a lot of feedback on that last year, so I decided to change that a little bit for you guys this season. So what you're going to see here is all the matchups tonight. Obviously, there's only 2. We've got Philadelphia at Boston. We've got the Lakers at Golden State. We've got the odds for both of those games. We've got each team's record, obviously first game of the season, so that's going to be 0. We've got home record, road record, not just the overall record. And then all of these stats that you're going to see over here, this is all rankings. No longer efficiency numbers or above, below average or anything like that to kind of confuse you. It's all league rankings. So right now this is rankings off of last season. So what we see is the overall ranks. First of all, we've got the overall pace, overall offensive efficiency numbers, and overall defensive efficiency numbers for both teams. And then we move over and we're going to have last 5 games to kind of give you a look at how teams are doing overall versus how they're doing over the last 5 games, which is about a 7 to 10 day sample size to kind of compare those. And then we've got home efficiency and pace, and then we've got road efficiency and pace rankings to kind of give you a look at how teams do at home versus on the road. And then we've got per game stats here as well. That is looking at rebounding ranking, assists, steals, blocks, and 3-pointers. So that is from a team perspective there. And then finally, we've got looking at the opponent's fantasy points against each position. So I've now split that with NBA. They're, instead of splitting it up into point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center, a lot of these players now, it's very free-flowing in terms of the position. So I've just separated it into guards, forwards, and centers in terms of, you're going to see that throughout the sheet looking at defense versus position. So then we move over, we have a look at the starting lineups tab. So this is the matchups each and every day that you're going to see on here. These are all projected lineups. Once a lineup becomes official and started, we come through here and we check all these, showing you that the players have started. Now, what that is going to do, I'm going to talk about that here once we get into the all players, guards, forwards, and center tabs, so actual individual positions and the players tabs. But on this starting lineup tab, you can use it for research. So there's multiple places. This is where I like to come, kind of give you an overview of the players on each team, who's starting, what positions. We can see their DK and FanDuel salary. We can see their minutes projections, their DK projections, their FanDuel projections in terms of fantasy points. And then we've got season stats. We've got usage, points per game, assists per game, and rebounds per game. Kind of gives you a little bit of a research. A lot of people like using this tab. So if there's anything that you would like maybe added to this tab that's going to help you with your research, please let me know, and I will get that added up there. So moving over into the all players tabs, and all 4 of these tabs are going to be the same. The only difference here is the all players tab is going to have all the players. So this is kind of where I do my personal research every day, because you can compare all the players on the slate, not just at the positions. When it comes down to actual lineup construction and you're looking for a guard who's maybe within a certain price range, or a forward, that's where I'll go into the guards, forwards, and centers positions to go ahead and have a look and do the research there for that. So what you're going to see here, first of all, is starter versus projection. So anyone with a P here is projected to start, and that comes directly from the starting lineups tab. Now, when a lineup comes in and is confirmed starting, usually about 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes even closer to lock before the games, we come in here and we confirm them on multiple sites. We use Basketball Monster, we use NBA.com, we use multiple sites to confirm starting lineups each and every night. Fantasy Labs is another good one, actually. We use Underdog NBA a little bit more than Fantasy Labs now. But when we do confirm those lineups and they are checked off here, you can see that here in the starting lineups tab. That also reflects over here on the all players, guards, forwards, and center tab as well. Those P's will now turn to an S, showing you that that player is starting, so that you can just be confirmed when you are building your lineups. So I'm going to come and uncheck those for anyone that is on the sheet and viewing it right now, because everything is still projected. So then beside that, you're going to see each player's minutes projection, the player name, team, opponent. Now that I've split the sheet into, well, we've obviously got the all players tab, but we've just got guards, forwards, and centers, rather than, like I said, splitting up into point guard, shooting guard, power forward, small forward, and all those positions, because players obviously play multiple positions. As you can tell, both sites now have multi-position eligibility for a lot of players. Some players are upwards, between the two sites, have 3 to 4 different position tags. So I have added the DK and FanDuel position. So on each of those sites, what positions are they eligible for, to help you out a little bit. Now, then we've got the DK and FanDuel pricing, the percent of the salary cap for each site. We move over, we've got the projected points for FanDuel and DK, and then we've got FanDuel and DK points per dollar. So that is just looking at their projection and looking at their DK salary and what points, projected points per dollar projection they're giving you there. Obviously, in basketball, we're looking for about 5 to 6 points per dollar is kind of optimal, kind of what we're looking for there. So as we move over, we've got the Vegas lines here again for each and every game, for each and every player. And then we've got stats, which right now, this is the 2021-2022 stats. This will flip over as every team has played 1 to 2 games, same as the NHL sheet. So we've got games played, minutes per game that each player is playing. We've got their usage, which is a percentage of how many shots they're taking versus their teammates. Then we've got points per game, assists, rebounds, rebound percentage, which is how many rebounds, the percentage of rebounds they're getting on their own team. Then we've got steals, blocks. We've got field goals attempted per game, field goal percentage, and then we split that up into 2 and 3 point attempts per game and percentage as well. And then over here on the end, we also have offensive rating and defensive rating, which that is a number that is set at. This was on the sheet last year, and this was some of the stuff that some people that were maybe not as deep into NBA didn't really want as on the forefront, but I did want to keep it here for anyone that is looking at for some advanced stats. What this is it puts every player on the 100 would be your league average in terms of offense and defensive efficiency ratings. So anyone over 100 is above average, and anyone below 100 is below average in terms of the offensive rating, and then it's just opposite for your defensive rating. You're looking for players, if you're looking for a good defender, you're looking for a good defender like Draymond Green, for instance, 96.9 defensive rating. That is 3.1% better than league average in terms of defense. So that's a really good defender. Someone that is 109.4 in terms of LeBron James here, he was 9% below average in terms of his defensive efficiency rating. So you can look at it that way if you want to get a little bit more in depth rather than just looking at, say, rankings and that sort of stuff. So then over here on the far right, we've also got the team offense and defensive ratings and the differential, so you can kind of pick out good matchups. So for players here, Jason Tatum, Boston was 7th in offensive rating. Now this is kind of tough because we've only got 2 games. You'll see this will reflect a little bit better on a larger slate. So what you're looking for, obviously, over here in the blue section is players in green in both team offensive ranking and opponent's defensive ranking, which is going to give you a plus in terms of that differential. And then we got pace here. We're showing the team's pace and the opponent's pace. Obviously, we want teams that are in high-pace matchups. If both teams are high-pace, usually going to see a high total in that game, which usually leads to a lot of fantasy points. So that's something that we're looking at there as well. So then we've got injury status over here, and I kind of go through that throughout the day, take off the questionable tags and place the out tags, which highlights them red automatically once a player is out. If a player is questionable, which Anthony Davis is almost every single day, you're going to see a game time decision there, and that's going to have the player in pink. So once that goes away, we take that out, which right now Anthony Davis on DraftKings, it is still showing him and LeBron James as questionable, but they're both probable to play, so I removed those tags for today. And then players playing on back-to-back days, you're going to see that over here on the far right as well. Obviously, this is the first game of the season, so we're not going to see that. So everything you see here on the All Players tab is the same. I've just split this up now into guards, forwards, and centers if you are doing the individual research and kind of building out your lineups and looking for a player at one of those positions and kind of want to compare just the players at those positions, you can go ahead and do so there. So this show is also sponsored by Daily Fantasy Sports Rankings. I help out with the projections over there. I do some articles over there. Me and Doug are kind of running the show, if you will. So I want to talk about that a little bit. So what you're going to see when you head over to dfsr.com as a member, and you can grab a free trial anytime, 7-day free trial. Head over there and you can check out all that free trial covers our NFL, MLB, which is coming to an end here, PGA, NBA, and NHL optimizer and projections, all under one price. You can also get my cheat sheets, but if you're already a Jaeger Bombs Fantasy Sports over at Patreon member, you don't really need the cheat sheets, more just for the optimizer. NBA is where DFSR.com actually started out many, many years ago, I think 6 to 7 years ago now. This was their main sport. This is Doug's passion. He also has a Hooked on, sorry, I said that wrong, a Brooklyn Nets podcast that he does pretty much each and every day. He's got pods up, so you want to go check that out as well if you are a Brooklyn Nets fan especially, but he also talks just basketball in general. So basketball is his passion. So this is definitely one of our best sports in terms of projections, optimizer, that sort of thing. So what you're going to see here, DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Classic Showdown tiers. You're going to see that. You're going to see your matchups over here. So you can come over here and, just X out a team if you want, X out a matchup, that sort of thing. If you want to stack games, you can choose a team here that you would like to stack. So just what I wanted to give you here, going over to FanDuel and just have a look at our optimized lineup, because on DraftKings, you either have to lock 2 players or lock a player and X a player out. You have to make 2 decisions before you can run a lineup. FanDuel, you do not have to do that. They don't have restrictions on that sort of thing. So right now, early in the day, got Derek White and Westbrook in the point guard position, Smart and Beverly in the shooting guard, Jaylen Brown and Lonnie Walker in small forward, Anthony Davis and Kevin Looney in the power forward position, and Joel Embiid at the center position. I wanted to look at a few picks here. First of all, a little bit of news for tonight's slate, and we're going to talk about that here before I get into my core lineup. I'm kind of avoiding the Golden State Warriors. I'm sure everyone's heard by now. I posted it in chat that Coach Kerr has talked about. He's talked about the starters probably not running anything over 30 minutes. That's kind of going to be their max tonight. That's looking at, you're looking at Klay Thompson, obviously. You're looking at Seth Curry, Steph Curry, not Seth Curry. Seth Curry's out for the season, by the way. Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green. You're not going to see 30 or more minutes out of them. Kind of talking about conditioning, maybe not there yet. They did the same thing last year. Steph Curry was the only one in opening night last year, and it was a 2-game slate similar to this, where Steph Curry was the only one that made it over 30 minutes. Actually, 3 of the 4 teams, so there was Milwaukee, Boston, Golden State, and the Lakers. Out of those 4 teams playing on opening night last year, the Lakers were the only team that pushed their starters to full minutes at the start of the season. The other 3 teams had a few players that reached the 30, 31, but no one really went over 31 minutes out of those other 3 teams. I think we see something similar to start this year. So I'm just not, for cash games especially, not trusting Golden State in this opener because of that. And that kind of reflects our picks here early in the day. LeBron and Anthony Davis are by far my 2 top pay-ups. Like I said, the Lakers had no problem pushing them. Last season, they were playing early in the preseason as well, and I don't think it's going to be hard to get 2 superstars in your lineup tonight. I'm going to show you why. We've got some balance picks down here. Marcus Smart, I think, is going to get a lot of run going up against Philly. A lot of Philly's points coming from the guard position. You got Tobias Harris back there. You've got James Harden, who's going to be pushing it. You've got where is he? Maxey, who we'll talk about here just in a second. So especially with Maxey and Harden in the backcourt, I think Smart with his defensive skills are going to be out there. Obviously, he's not going to get a lot of usage, but I think his minutes are going to be fine. They're going to need him out there on the floor to defend those guys. I do feel Maxey is underpriced on DraftKings, and that's another thing I wanted to mention here on the All Players tab. When I'm highlighting my plays, you're going to see green is core, blue is a secondary play, yellow is value. Now, if there's a discrepancy between the price between DraftKings and FanDuel, I'm going to highlight the position here under the DK and FanDuel tabs. So for Maxey, he's only 5K on DraftKings, which I absolutely love. And that reflects with 6.0 points per dollar projection. Now, if you look at FanDuel, he's 6,500, and he's only giving you a 4.2. So it's a little bit lower there. Same with Al Horford. He's only 4,900 on DraftKings. He's going to be starting with Williams out to start the year. Robert Williams is out. So they're going to be starting Horford there at center. He's only 4,900 on DraftKings. It's probably going to be in that 29 to 30 minutes, 28 to 30 minutes, we'll say. And only 4,900, that gives him a high points per dollar projection tonight. But he's 6K on FanDuel, which is a 4.5. So not as good a value over there on FanDuel. And that's kind of why the FanDuel optimizer has Joel Embiid paying up for him over on FanDuel tonight versus DraftKings is probably going to have Horford in the top lineups for us over at DFSR tonight. Some other top plays. The reason I like going with some superstars here at the top, we get some value with Patrick Beverley, who's going to be starting over Westbrook. It's not confirmed yet, obviously, but Beverley played quite a bit. I think he started all 3 games where LeBron played in the preseason, so I like him. Lonnie Walker is a lot more scoring dependent than Beverly. So he's more of a GPP play, but again, really nice value here, over 6 points per dollar projection. Same with FanDuel. Both of those guys work on both sites. And then we got Derek White for Boston, who's going to be getting the start in the backcourt, 4,100, 6.5 points per dollar projection here, 5.6 over on FanDuel. So those 3 guys present some awesome value. So what I'm going to do with those picks now is I'm going to go over to DraftKings and I'm going to give you my core lineup. I've got 3 Boston, kind of looking at the value for Boston here with White, Smart, and Horford, and then looking at the superstars with the Lakers, LeBron and Anthony Davis, and then Maxey, who I think is a little bit underpriced to start the season. I think once we see what Maxey can do in this Philadelphia offense, he's probably going to be in the 6 to 6,500 range very soon. So I definitely like that. And I think Maxey also takes away from James Harden. So James Harden is going to be, although he is under 10K on both sites, he's actually under 9K on both sites, which is great value. He has a lot of upside, we know. But with Maxey there, I think takes away a lot of that usage. And I think Maxey's a little bit more underpriced. So that's where I'm going to go. That leaves you 6,500 to kind of play around. If you want to go with some, if you wanted to get Steph in there, if you do trust that, you can, and then go punt a player. But there's a lot of options that you can go after that. So that takes care of everything. If you have any questions on anything I maybe didn't cover or any suggestions of things you maybe want added to the sheet that's going to help you with your research, make sure to reach out to me in Discord. You can also get into our Discord for free and grab a free trial. Going to be posting some core plays and stuff like that for all sports. Sporadically throughout the week, you're going to get some content in that free trial members channel that we have set up. Plus you have access to our MLB for the rest of the season for free, as well as our winning picks. So you can come in and you can see how our members and how our coaches are doing. We've also got our main members chat. You can come in there and chat with absolutely anyone in our chat. You can reach out to our coaches, anything like that, all for free. That link is going to be in the description of the video below. And for anyone that would like to sign up, you can see that banner going across the bottom. And like I said, head over to www.patreon.com/JagerBombs and get signed up and join our winning team today. Thanks for tuning into the video. Make sure to smash that like button, and I'll see you all in Discord. Have a great day.